Welcome back to From the Roots Up, the podcast where we follow Hickory FC's magical run, match by match, trophy by trophy. After 2 incredible seasons and 1 unforgettable run, it's wild to say we're national champions. Can you believe that?
No, and you're right. Trophy by trophy, it just felt like one after the other. Southeastern Conference Championship Trophy, South Region Championship Trophy, National Championship Trophy. It's just one after the other. Whether it was all the way out in Moretz, all the way out to the bay, the trees just kept on climbing. And at the end there, we took down El Farolito 3-2 in San Francisco. We ended their reign of terror and completely silenced them out there and brought the trophy all the way back home, baby.
What an experience it was. And before we get started, of course, I have to thank our partners, Barley Market. You'll notice we're not there today. There was some scheduling conflicts, but we're here at Jay Brown's. But I've got to thank Barley Market for continually allowing us their space to do this podcast. I got to thank my man Lenny behind the camera for the production that you see, and of course, and actually we've got him here today, Chris Vondrell, for all of our graphics, and he's actually taken some behind the scenes photos for us. But I've got to thank Reese Searles of Searles Creative and Jason Duckworth of Rock Bottom Branding. You'll see my hat that they did for us, this awesome shirt that I think the players traveled with to the final, and I think they released that today. But got to thank those guys. They've been incredible for us, in this short period of time. So thank them. So much of this championship, has come down to big moments, and it's no surprise that since I posted on Instagram today. But one of the biggest has stepped in very late for us, which has been absolutely amazing. And he absolutely made his presence known very, very quickly.
Yeah, he came in a little bit late, but he made an immediate impact on the field, and I think everyone knows him and everyone has come to love him. But I gotta say, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Big G, Geoffroy Letienne.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. It's very exciting to be in this podcast and share the run and the experience we did with Hickory FC, with you guys and with the community.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here. And I think it's really cool to have like you guys on here, especially when you guys have such different experiences. It was cool talking to Daniel because he was a player that, kind of got thrust into the position. And then you just came in at the ramping point of the season and just immediately just became somebody that everyone loved, just immediate impact. So I think you guys have really unique stories to tell. So I love having it, and hopefully people like hearing it,
Yeah, we didn't put this in the notes, but I'm so excited to have you here. You don't know how excited I am to have you here. The time that we've talked, we've chatted a few times, and just your instant impact is just, I don't know what the word to say is, unbelievable. So I'm really excited you're here. But, as we get into asking you about the season and all of that, let's start with San Francisco, because that's, obviously that's the last match that's in our minds. And this final, it seemed to have just about everything. Of course, we had goals. I don't know that you'd call it necessarily a goal fest, but 5 goals in a final, that seems like a lot. And then, the last, I don't know how many times I've watched the last 10 minutes of the game. It's probably 40 by now. I just keep watching it because it's just one of those things, one of those moments that you say, I was there, to see it. And it had a massive finish. So why don't you take us, if you can, take us there to maybe, let's say the last 10 minutes. What was it like, watching Tommy score goal 3 and then them scoring the second, and then just holding on with, down to 10 men? What was...
the last 10 minutes was very tough. We were down 1 man, as you said, and we knew it was the last 10 minutes, so they were going to push to try to equalize and try everything they can. So the last 10 minutes, we didn't play soccer. We were just here defending, heading the ball, clearing the ball, and at one point in transition, we just found, I believe, Harry, and then Harry found Tommy, and the rest is history. He just scored the game-winning goals, and then the game was not even done after because we conceded 1 goal, I think the 96th minute, but We still made it off the game, and then yeah, after the final whistle, and we were national champ. So yeah.
Yeah, those last 10 minutes were absolutely stressful. But we had talked a little bit about, kind of that, you feel like a moment when things kind of click. Because I think we all kind of went into it, it's like this powerhouse team who's won and they got all these retired pros. But I think like in each of the games leading up, there hits a moment. I think it was like the Lubbock game when we scored the second goal where I was like, all right, I think we got this. So I'm kind of curious for you guys in this game, going in. I'm sure that there was like, I don't want to say doubt, but I'm sure you don't have the complete 100%. But what moment of the game, or was there a moment in the game when you were like, you know what, I think we got this?
I think during the first half, after 20 to 25 minutes, when we saw that the game plan was working very good, I felt myself. I was like, okay, this game we might have the game in our hands because the game plan that Coach Carlos gave us and the coaching staff gave us was working well. I mean, we knew how they were going to press, and we worked on it, and we were able to build from the back. We were able to hurt them in transition when they lose the ball, and I was like, at one point, we're going to score in transition because we are hurting them so much that they're not gonna be holding us for long, and we did. We score, and yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I think we had talked about it, and that's what I thought was so interesting. I haven't watched a lot of their matches, but I was fully expecting you guys to say, "Hey, let's go high press, let's gas these guys out." So when I saw them kind of come out full press, putting high pressure, and you guys tolerated it very well, you took it. I was like, man, how long are these guys going to be able to keep this up for? And then, like you said, just like catching them off the break when they're such high press, they leave themselves exposed. And I talked about it on like the last 2 episodes, but I feel like that's what you guys thrived at and you did so well, is just like building out of the back, spreading the field, and just creating those open spaces. And so I was just shocked when I just saw them just going high press. I was like, you can't do this for 90 minutes. You're gonna gas out and get tired. But
yeah, and the fact that we could take it and we could handle it, which was very, very impressive. So I think weathering the storm for maybe the first 15 minutes or so, I think was a very telling sign. Like, all right, this is not going to be. They're not going to it's not going to be a rout, and they're not going to walk away with it. But maybe you're with El Farolito, with their wealth of experience, with being professionally, being in the league for so long, winning the title last year, being undefeated for 2+ years, they've got a wealth of experience. So, you as a player, maybe the team as a whole, how do you prepare for that, like mentally? And, you mentioned a little bit of tactics there, but like mentally and tactically, how do you prepare for a team like with a wealth of experience like that?
So mentally, we had to prepare good because we knew that they were a team with a lot of experience and a lot of former professional players. So we knew that it was going to be a battle on the field and that they were not going to give us the game, especially in their house. So we were ready to fight. And I think we saw in the first half a lot of foul, a lot of yellow card given because we were not going to give them the game. We were here, we could answer. And on the tactical part, I think we can give the credit to the coaching staff because on the tactical part, we were here. Everything was working good and the game plan was working. So we were ready on the mental and the tactical part. So everything was good.
Now, kind of curious because, well, first off, I think we're all just blown away by Rubio. It seems like he's just like a master tactician. I don't know how much of the secrets you're able to delve out, but it was funny. I ran into Adolfo in the parking lot after one game, and I talked to him because I think it was more earlier in the season. By the time you had come along, I think we just started like clicking. But earlier in the season, there were so many games where the first half we just like weren't figuring things out, and then something happened at halftime. In the second half, we would just like come out. And I asked him, I was like, what is he telling you at halftime? Because you guys are like a different team. And maybe he changed that halftime talk to the pregame talk, but something about his tactical skills is just crazy. So it's nuts. So how do you guys prepare? Do you guys like sit down and meet and analyze how the other teams play, or how does he how does he feed that tactical to you?
I think before the game, the tactical plan we have the one for the first half, and then of course the coach has to adapt as how the game is evolving and how the game goes to first half. So when we come back to the locker room at halftime, we take a deep breath, and then coach talk to us, and he tells us what he see and how we need to adapt. And then after, he's just rolling on the field because he gave us the instructions.
Yeah, no, it's definitely crazy impressive. Like whether it's the second half adjustments or even just coming out ready to play, it seems like you guys have just always been ready to go. But you know, I think one of the other impressive things is, again, you played 3 games, still managed to score 2 insanely impressive goals. And we were kind of laughing on the last podcast about how we were predicting you were going to be. We saw you always in the box. They always got you up there because you got the height, and you did end up scoring a header, but you were a little bit further back. You didn't have to jump for it. But probably more exciting was this El Farolito goal and getting that impact on a national championship game, on your 3rd game with the team. So talk to us about that play. What were you seeing leading up to that play? Did you have a few chances? Did you see a gap? Or talk to us about that goal.
About the goal of El Farolito, and as well my goal in semi-final that come from set pieces. So the set pieces that we do are not luck. It's something that we work in training, and it's not just like throwing the balls and hopefully it gets to me. So the goal in El Farolito was the set pieces that we worked on it. Hopefully the ball went to Tony. He headed to me, and I scored. But it was an amazing feeling, especially as a center back. We don't get to score a lot because that's not my first job. My first job is to defend, but scoring a goal as a center back for a random game is already an amazing feeling. So scoring a goal as a center back in a final was a crazy feeling. That's why I lost my mind, and I just tried to knee slide and celebrate as much as I could, but it was a crazy feeling.
Yeah, you've scored. I mean, you know, at the time they were match winners. Turned out, you know, not to be, but I mean, 2 very, very important goals for the club. And, you know, I think I said it maybe on Instagram on one of your posts, like, you've been the 3 most important games in club history. You scored 2 very important goals in club history. That's got to be, I mean, that's like a feather in your cap. That's got to be something that you can take now and just be like, you know, we've done this, you know. But we've talked about the goals, and I know everybody wants to talk about what happened after the game, and, of course, we are going to do that. So, you know, I think watching the stream, and like I said, I've watched the end of the game I don't know how many times. So I've seen the guy, I think number 6, was it? I think. Anyway, he comes from the right side of the screen and just charges. And I don't think you saw you. So he was charging off camera, and then all of a sudden you're on the floor. So if we can, let's talk about the cleating of Geoffroy, if we can. What happened there, you know, from your perspective?
So after the final whistle, of course, they were a bit frustrated, which I can understand because they lost the final at home in front of their people, and couple players reacted in the wrong way. And then there was, at the end of the game, when the final whistle came, I start to run, like to celebrate, but I see 3 players like surrounding me, but I stayed on my ground because I'm not scared of anyone. But this guy just came and like front kicked me in my chest, and then it sent me on the floor, obviously. And then after, people tried to separate, but yeah, it's not the good reaction to have. And then, yeah, the NPSL is gonna have to do some consequences for that.
Yeah, no, it definitely looked like it, because I think the camera caught you off stream, and I think I saw you just like look over, and you're like, what is happening? And the next thing you know, you're on the floor, and it sucks to kind of like take away from your joy and celebration there. But I gotta say, I think what is like the most impressive to me was when you guys got back. They came off the bus, and I came up to you, and I said, hey, man, what happened? And he kind of briefly explained, he kicked me in the chest, and I got mad at that moment. This was like the next day, and I was like, what the heck, man? I was like, why didn't – and I think your response was, it's all right, they'll figure it out. And I think it's kind of like a really good representation of your mentality. I mean, you can see you're just such a chill guy, and it's probably a big factor of kind of who you are as a player, just staying composed. And I think 99% of people after getting karate chopped in the chest would have bounced up and immediately started swinging, but you were like, nah, man, you'll get what's due, and it's really impressive and speaks a lot to your character.
And I think it should be mentioned too. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. It should be mentioned too that, and I don't know if you told me this. I know there was somebody that mentioned it on Instagram, and I don't know if you told me this on Monday, but the quote was or comment was you would take 5 of them to win a national championship, and I think that right there tells you the kind of player that we got. Will give it all for the badge, which, I mean, it speaks to the kind of warrior you are on the pitch, which is amazing to me.
I mean, yeah, it's true. Saturday, sorry. In my head, I was like, I'm going to give it all. I'm going to kill myself, and I'm going to leave my body on the field. I was not going to lose the final. We were not going to lose the final. So that's why I said, if this guy can kick me 5 more times to get the championship, then he can come and do it. It's fine.
Yeah, no,
That's
it just shows kind of how much you guys dominated, and they just couldn't. When people get frustrated, it shows, But I mean, you guys did from the first whistle. It really did feel like we were in control, and then even when they got the penalty, which I didn't really feel like was a solid call, and then even when they scored at the end, it just felt like we were dominating, and you guys had them in control, and it just shows their frustration and their response. So, but again, mega kudos to you for keeping your cool. I probably would not have.
I definitely would not have. I would have started swinging.
But it just shows, So very, very impressive.
Yeah, so we talked about the final and all that happened there. Let's kind of shift gears a little bit to before we were lifting, and we've already lifted trophies before we're going out to California, but before lifting the trophy, and you'll know this better than anybody, is that we packed Moretz to the brim, and that was a big talking point before the final, is where was it going to be played, whether we were going to be in a packed stadium or we'll just say less than packed stadium in California. But you only played a few home matches. Talk to me about that was a huge welcome, playing in front of 6,200 fans. I mean, that was insane to think about. And that's the largest crowd in Moretz history. What was it like experiencing that atmosphere? And I think you mentioned off camera that it was the largest crowd that you've ever played in front of. Tell me about it. We've got to talk about that. Tell me about that.
So it's an amazing feeling, and you're not ready for it if you never played in front of that much people. So as a college soccer player, in my college, there is not much people that come watch the soccer game. So it's an amazing feeling to play in front of so much people, because as someone that aspire to become a professional soccer player, playing in front of so much fun, signing autograph, taking pictures, that's what drives me as a soccer player, and that's what helps you to give it all on the field. And then that's what you have the home advantage, because you have your people cheering for you, behind you, and you don't want to lose at home. You don't want to disappoint the people that came, that buy the ticket, that come and have fun with their friend, with their people. So really, it's an amazing feeling to play in front of a lot of people, and it also helps you a lot.
Yeah, no, I think it's we always talk about how it's awesome that we get to provide that, and I think you could really see it on that goal you scored in the semifinal, because again, baseline, super chill dude. He scores that goal, and I just saw your face light up. My man runs to the corner flag, hit the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration, and this man just exploded with joy. And I just can't imagine, because I grew up playing soccer, and I scored goals in front of 20 parents, and that alone was exhilarating. You're when you see the ball go in the net, I can't even imagine when you hit it, see the ball go in the net, and then you just hear an eruption, the crowd go crazy. So what did that feel like?
It feels crazy. You feel connected with the crowd. You just you want to lose your mind, but you try to stay composed a little bit. But yeah, it's true that the game, the semi-final, the goal that I scored at home, I lost my mind. I did not even plan to do the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration, but it just came to my mind and I did it. But it was I really enjoyed those moments and I will never forget for sure.
Did you hear the fans though? Because when we talked to Mickey, and this was not, I think, in the midst of a goal. I think it was just he said he was so locked in that he didn't hear the fans. When you scored that goal, did you hear the fans? I mean, was it like you could hear and see everything?
I heard the fan a little bit, but I would agree with Mickey as well. When you are in the game, you don't really hear or pay attention, but I did hear the fan because from no sound to explosion in the stadium. So, I did hear the fan.
Yeah, especially those like close 1-goal games, like those goals just it's the reaction is crazy. But another thing I was curious about, you coming in a little bit late, you come into a team that's probably already been meshing and have friendships and this or that, but was there anyone that you like connected with or you didn't expect to, or was there somebody that you're like, man, this dude's hilarious, I love being around him? Or
Yeah, I connected very well with Maxime because he's from Belgium, so obviously he talked French, so it was very easy to connect with him, and he was one of the first player to welcome me when I arrived to Hickory. So me and him became really close, and now we are brothers for life for sure. And then I also connected good with Tony at training. We started to joke around, and we also became even closer during the national championship because we were roommates at the hotel. So yeah, that's the 2-1. But if not, I became brothers with my whole team.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've talked about it. Like, we see mostly from social media, but it seems like that's one of the things that kind of excites us the most about the team. And I think a lot of people is like everyone seems like good people. They all seem really cool. Everyone I've interacted with, they're very genuine, and you can tell they're real, and they seem like genuinely good people. So it makes supporting them more fun. So. It's glad whenever we get that reinforcement, like, yeah, they actually are good people. They're not just faking it.
and I want to add something to that. And you can give credit to coaching staff because when they are recruiting players, they not only care about is he a good player on the field, but they also try to know is he a good dude? Is it someone that is good in the life? Is he a good human being? Because there is not only the soccer side. You need to have good people in the team, and that's what is gonna make the team works very good.
Yeah,
Well, you could really tell, and he mentioned it on social media, like all the pictures and videos that have been posted from training and any other scenario you guys have been in, like you can tell you guys have fun together. It's not just, oh, well, we've got to do this together. We've got to like you guys legitimately have fun together, and I think that it translates to the pitch. It has to, and it's even more than last year. It's amazing to see that this year, and I think that as you alluded to, the coaching staff. I think that's what's helped win this national championship.
Yeah, no, and I think it just, like you said, it's another level of things that people don't think about. You just think about like, oh, how good are they at passing? How good are they at crossing? How good are they at shooting? What's their this, that? But it's funny. So one of the football teams I'm a fan of, the Colts, they had a few good years a little bit back, and they kind of chalked it up to they had this guy who wasn't even related to football. He was like a prior military guy, but he did all their like social personality interviews, and like 90% of what they did was based on like who they were as a person. And they chalked up all their success to that. They're like, we just got good people with good mindsets, fun to be around, and they're like, that's why all those people we got were good. But talking about how you got here and how we get people here, you came in a little bit late. You weren't here at the beginning, but kind of talk to us about how you ended up here. How did you end up? What did you hear about Hickory? How did you get here? Kind of give us your story about.
So it's a special story, but I heard about Hickory in March. In March, coach reached out to me to come play for Hickory, but I was already signed with this team in New York, USL2 team. So I got there, and then I spent my season there. Unfortunately, we didn't make the playoff, and I was still hungry for more. I still wanted to keep playing, and I thought about Hickory, that Coach Carlos reached out to me in March. So I texted him myself and I said, I was the team captain. If you need a center back, get me and I can come help the team. And then he answered me and said that his center back is leaving and he needs a center back. So the rest is history.
Well, I think it worked out very well. I think the coming to Hickory, what like, and this we didn't ask this question, but like when you hear the word like the name of the town Hickory, like what did you have any like preconceived thought? Did you think anything about it, or were you just like, I've got the chance to play, let's go?
I did not know anything about Hickory, but of course I went to Instagram and checked the club, and then you see that they play in front of a crazy crowd. So of course it helps you to take your decision to come. So after a couple of research, then for sure I wanted to come to Hickory.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think you
great.
kind of alluded to it in your description of how you ended up here. But when you were brought here, did kind of two things. Did you know that you were immediately going to be starting? Did you say you had a starting position or you had to fight for it? And then two, were you expecting to have this kind of impact and even like the response from the fans, the Hickory's Eiffel Tower? I feel like you kind of got a little celebrity status. Like, what were you expecting coming into it?
You're welcome for that, by the way.
I did not know that I was gonna have that much of a big role, but I knew that if you bring a player for playoff, is not to sit him on the bench, you know. But at training, when we start to work on the shape, and then I knew that I was gonna be the central center back in the back three. I knew that my role was gonna be very important. So, yeah, I realized that my role were gonna be very important.
And you see, like right when you came in, you seemed instantly in sync with Charlie, which I don't know if that's a common thing, coming into a new team as a center back, but you were like instantly there with him. What made that partnership work so quickly, but effortlessly, if I can speak? Tell me about that.
I mean, Charlie is a really good guy. And as soon as I came to the team, and then we start to work together on the defense, we were talking a lot. Of course, we spent training, we spent moment together, and then we get to like each other as a person. And then, yeah, we got close. And then, of course, we are playing in the back together. So we have to make it work anyway, because this is going to be the starting center back. So we had to make it work, but we became good friends, brothers, and then, yeah, at the back after it was a wall.
It was. It really was. We've been raving about this for like the last 3 weeks, every game, and it's not for no reason. It's legit. Like you guys were, I mean, just watching you guys was mesmerizing. Like the way you guys covered each other, held the line. If one guy went up, you had that defensive structure, and like we kind of analyzed from the other games, that was always the mishaps of the other team. Like whether it's like the right back, one of the center backs pull up, nobody's covering, and then there's a huge gap. You guys always like covered and did well. I'm curious, do you think you guys connected well because like tactically your playing styles matched, or do you think like you guys just connected as bros and you just work together when it's your homie?
I think a little bit both. We connected as bro as well because we were hanging out with all the guys outside the soccer pitch, but we connected as well about the soccer part. I think he had some qualities that I don't have, and then I had some quality that he doesn't have, and then we could like help each other, and then that's why it was a great match on the back line.
It's almost like you would pair the Eiffel Tower with Big Ben. Copyright it and trademark from the roots up.
But yeah, no, you guys did really well. It's insanely impressive. Like I said, we've ranted about it the last few weeks. We'll probably keep ranting about it, but it was really fun to watch, and it was very like, first off, as a fan, your nerves are just like relaxed. You're like, they got this. But even just as a fan of kind of soccer and just watching the form of play, it's fun to watch and see you guys just maintain your composure, hold your structure, and do really well. But yeah, those last 3 games, you guys really locked it down defensively, and it just it was really good. What about the other guys on defense? Like, what do you think kind of made all of you guys click? Were you close with all of them, or like did you guys just find a rhythm?
I got close with all of them, and I had no choice. I mean, as a soccer player, I have to be friend with the guys that I am on the field because it's gonna help me. That I know I want to fight for this guy. I like this guy. He's my friend, and I can kill for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I became friend with everyone on the team as soon as I arrived, and then all the guys as well welcomed me. So on the back line, yeah, the chemistry just came right away.
Yeah, no, it was, and it was. Again, I could keep ranting about it, but it was awesome. Now, kind of recapping all that, what do you think is going to be your memory of this season? Like, what are you gonna 6 months, a year from now? What are you gonna take personally, professionally? What are you gonna think when you look back on this season?
I think the whole 3 weeks, to be honest, but it was great. I mean, my first game in front of so many people and playing against the Lubbock Matadors, that a team that I know very well because I go to school in Lubbock. It was a good feeling as well. First game, first trophy, and my first trophy in the United States because before coming to Hickory, I did not win any trophy. And then the second game, the semi-final as well, semi-final at home, I scored a goal. And then the third game, we fly all the way to the West Coast and we win the national championship and I scored. I mean, the experience I had in Hickory, I'm going to remember this all my life, and yeah, I'm going to be grateful forever.
Yeah, no, it's funny because you said 3 weeks and like something just clicked in my head. I was like, man, you were only here for 3 weeks. It feels like you've been here forever, man.
Feels like a long
It
time,
feels
yeah.
like you were just
Yeah.
part of it, and it's crazy. It was a roller coaster those last 3 weeks, but it was fun. But it's funny that you mentioned that. Do you know are any of your like former teammates on the Lubbock team, or do you just know the team in general? Or
It's actually crazy, but the captain of the Lubbock Matadors is my coach in college. So I was playing against my coach.
wait, really? I did not know that. That's so funny. That's
So it was a weird feeling, but a good feeling. It was something good to share with him
yeah.
because even if they lost, we shared the game on the field, and it was a good moment to share with him.
Yeah, no, it's cool. They look like they have a good support and they got a good amount of fans, and they kind of similarly have a good support. But that's funny. I can't imagine what he's thinking. He's probably like, I want Letienne to play the best game in the world, but I still want them to lose.
That's how he got him so wound up because he knows all of them.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, every team has the anchor at the back, and that was you and Charlie. You guys held it down, and like I think Gavin has alluded to, we'll forever be grateful. And as he's mentioned it before, it's kind of just something that's going to go down in Hickory history for sure. So
Yeah, and
cool.
it's like I think Ben when he posted, I think a full picture of you guys together, and like he said that it was a hard post to make, because now we go from this high that this national championship, everybody together, to now, and I think I mentioned it to you off camera, like now everybody's gone, like everybody just disperses to school and so forth, and it's just like you come down and it's like, man, what do I do now, So, but yeah, like absolutely, we're God, what's the right way to say it? Like we're forever grateful, as an ultra fan like I am. Like I don't know, I can't tell you what this means that you guys have delivered a national championship. From being a late comer to the team to in 3 matches you're a national champion. Like it is unbelievable. So I don't want to butcher your name, so I'll just say Big G. Officially, thank you very much for being a part of Hickory FC and the history. You are forever, and I say this on everybody's post on Instagram when they're thanking the team, is like you guys, everybody, but and you are forever a part of Hickory FC history. And like as a fan, I can't thank you enough for being here.
Yeah, it's been a special season for sure. It's been super fun to be a part of, and just connecting with you guys is so much fun. So I hope we can make the experience better, and it sounds like the fans do, and that's why I always try to kind of amp that up, because I know the fans appreciate it, the players appreciate it, and just like having that connection, it just, whether it's like seeing the host families like integrating in the community, the players interacting, the players coaching the kids, just like that tight knit, and like I will keep harping on it, but like that small community feel, it's so fun to be a part of, because like I always want to tell people like our team, my team, like we're a part of the team. So, but it really feels like that, and hearing you guys like appreciate us just like makes it even more personable. So I just love that.
And it's true. I want to thank you guys as well, because we would not have done it without you guys, because you guys are like the 12th player. This is like we are 11 on the field, but we have the community behind us. We have the fan behind us. And yeah, I want to thank the whole community, all the fans that come to the game, everyone involved with Hickory FC, because that's for you guys that we did it. And I will always be forever grateful as well for what Hickory FC gave me.
Yeah, and I think everyone in Hickory wants to say merci beaucoup.
Yeah, you're French, so you can say that. If it redneck saying it doesn't come out properly. But I guess, that's pretty much all we've got for. We've got some analysis coming in a different episode, but that's pretty much what we've got with Big G. And again, I've said it before, and I think I mentioned it when we had Mickey on. Like, I felt like I didn't thank him enough for being on and being part of the team. So I will thank you again for being here with us. I appreciate you giving us the time. Your time is valuable. I know that, and I appreciate you being here with us and talking through the final with us, and just, man, 3 matches, it feels like you've been here forever, the whole season. And man, I'm like a kid at Christmas, like I said with Mickey. Like, I love it. It's almost like, if you meet your heroes at, like, you go to a Manchester. I'm a Manchester United fan, so if I go to a game like that, and meet your heroes, like I feel like I'm meeting my heroes is basically what I'm trying to say. I'm not getting it out because I'm like tongue tied, but I feel like I'm meeting my heroes, like meeting you guys. So it's just amazing to be able to talk to you in this kind of setting and get behind the scenes from you guys. So thank you very much.
Thank you as well. Thank you for the invitation, and then what you're saying means a lot for a soccer player, because it's very good to connect and have a connection with the fans that support you through every game, even in the losses, even though we didn't lose one game. But
What's a loss? You don't know what a loss is.
but thank you for everything.
Yeah, no, and we, super cheesy to say, but we started in the roots, and now we're from the roots up, and now we're lifting trophies. And all I got to say is Hickory's just getting started, and I think it's awesome you guys get to be a part of that, and hopefully you can be a part of more in the future. But I know this is only the beginning for this club and this organization, so it's awesome.
Yeah, so I said in a previous episode, I'm not a YouTuber, so I don't get the whole like comment, subscribe. But if you would please like, comment, and subscribe. And as we say, I guess now is our little line is stay loud and stay proud and keep growing from the roots up. And as always, up the trees.
Up the trees.
Up the trees.